If you have this Stranger Things deck, I think I've designed the perfect solo adventure for it. And if you don't have this deck, you can play without it, but you might find yourself wanting it. Hi, this is Kendall, and this is Stranger Things Solitaire, the Hex over Hawkins. Before I jump in, my projects do get updated from time to time, so always check if there's a latest video. And if you enjoy creative solo games with minimal components, consider subscribing so you don't miss new designs. So in this solo game, you're playing as the characters from the hit Netflix show. You're trying to survive encounters and fight back against Vecna and the Hive. I did reach out to Theory 11, who makes this deck, to see if they had an affiliate or discount link. As of filming, I don't have one yet, but if that changes, I'll add it to the description. And of course, it wouldn't cost you extra. In fact, it might save you a few dollars. But this video will be an overview of the rules and a few demo turns, but I'll also link to a full playthrough. So the cards themselves, all the face cards are characters. So you've got like Dustin, the King of Spades, Nancy, the Queen of Hearts. And the 11 is actually the Ace of Spades. The other aces are locations like the arcade or the mall. And the Jokers are the Demogorgon and Vecna. And your goal is simple. You want to survive every encounter and defeat Vecna to seal the rift. This design is a fail-forward survival game, so you aren't eliminated when things go wrong. Instead, every mistake leaves scars, and it may mean that fewer characters will survive. If you've seen my Shadow Solitaire or Batman Solitaire game, this shares some DNA with that. But this version is more refined, and it's deeply tied into the Stranger Things theme. So to set up, you will remove the 10 of hearts and spades. These are used to track your health, and I'll demo that. You'll also, you won't need this card here. That's super cool though. You can set this aside in a second. And what you do is place the Jokers aside, shuffle all the cards, and when the cards are shuffled, you will take 10 cards face down, then the Jokers on top face down, and then the rest of the cards face down on top of that. I have the cards stacked in a certain way to demo some turns, but that is how you set it up. And this ensures that the Jokers will appear together during the final boss battle for the round. And then you'll repeat this for round 2 and again for round 3. So you can use this Hellfire Club card to track the rounds. If you have it face up upright, that could be round 1. Round 2, you can have this upside down, but face up, and then round 3 can be face down. Or just use anything to track 3 rounds. Card values, you have 2 through 10. Those are just face value. Court cards are all worth 10. And then the Jokers are only in the boss battles, but they are worth 13. Aces are a little different. If they come out as a threat, they are going to be equal to the highest threat that turn, and I'll demo that. As a response, then they are going to be equal to the lowest threat that turn. And the difference with 11 is that she plays like a normal ace, but then after that turn, she's set aside and can be a wild response card, value between 1 and 11. So the turn structure is you would, okay, so we're going to say we've got full health here. And if you take damage, you cover heart pips. But and we're in round 1. So you would draw threats, and you flip 4 cards over like that. You check to see if you have any doubles of any values, and that means that there's a gate that's open. Gates matter if you have a character that's captured in the Upside Down. Right now we don't. We're just starting a game. Or depending which round you're in, gates can have a little more effect as well. So if you did have a captured character, they would be added as a 5th card. And then instead of drawing 4 cards as responses, you would have your first card would be the top of the discard, and it would be equal to the lowest threat from the prior round. So this is maybe a little confusing until I show it, but essentially you're usually playing with 4 cards, but you would set a character here as a 5th, basically as a rescue attempt. So in this example, we've got 11, we've got Hopper. The suits mean different things if they're a threat versus a response. So hearts are humans, and as a threat, they're hostile humans. So maybe he's trapped by Russians. A lower heart might be like the parents intervening, something like that. So Hopper being captured by Russians seems like fitting. You've got 11 in trouble. The spades are like the hive, so it could be demogorgons or demodogs, things like that. The clubs are related to the spread, so like the tunnels or vines. So it could be that 11 is trapped with some vines, and maybe fighting against a demo dog or something like that. And then you have Hopper trapped by Russians. Anyway, the narrative can make it fun, but then you draw one at a time your responses. So with this 8, as a response, an 8 is like an arsenal of some kind. It could be fireworks or a torch or a wrist rocket or something like that. But there are a few ways that you can play these. To avoid damage, you want all of the threats to be satisfied. And one method is just a regular play. It needs to be the exact value or above it by 3. So this would work. A 10 wouldn't, because that'd be 4 above it, but an 8. So I could play it like that, just a regular play. But you can also play cards sideways across, and this is limited to once per turn, or per turn. So this wouldn't be enough to cover both. I'd have to have another card, but say I play this, and it's called a trap. So I'm setting up a trap. If I play it here, the combined value here is 16. I need to get 16 or higher. So I need to get an 8 or above to finish this trap. So let's do that. And now I draw another card. Okay. As a spade as a response, this is 11. If she's not in the game or not in the turn physically, it's her, using her powers at a distance, but she is in the round. So this is 11's power. This is equal to a 10 because Hopper is here. He's our highest value threat. So this is actually too high. This is more than 3. So that would actually push us over the limit. And it's not enough for this. And you can only do one of these traps once per turn, so I couldn't do that. You can, once per turn, play a distraction, where you play face down. You can only play this on number cards, so you can't play it on an ace. or a face card, but I could definitely play it here. And you could say that 11's powers are, you know, being used effectively against these vines. She's able to get out of the vines. She's still being attacked. So let's see what else we can come up with here. Okay. So here we have a choice because this card is equal 10. We could play it over here and we're safe there, but we would take 2 damage, 1 for each threat, and Hopper would go to the upside down. So what we might do, and we still don't know what else we'll get. So if we play Lucas here, that's 18 to our 16. We don't go more than 3 over, so we're good. Basically, Lucas is helping rescue Hopper. Okay, we've got one more card, and it's an ace. So as a threat, an ace is equal to the highest, which is a 10. As a response, ace is equal to the lowest, a 3. So the 3 doesn't help us anywhere. In fact, this 3 would be overkill here. It would send us over. So it wouldn't help there. So we play that. We're limited to 4 cards response because we have 4 cards out. And we prevent Hopper. We save Hopper, but we take damage. So this is 1 damage. We would cover one of these pips. And all these would get discarded. And because we aren't putting anyone in the upside down, it doesn't matter what order. If we did, we would need the lowest threat to be the top of the discard. But we are going to set aside 11 because now she's a wild, worth anything from 1 to 11. And we'll just set her over here. Okay, so these cards are discarded. Okay, so now we're going to draw some more threats. Okay, so we actually have a gate. We have 2 cards of the same value, so it's a double. It doesn't really affect us because we don't have any character captured. Diamonds, I forgot to say, is Vecna. So Vecna is maybe using trauma thoughts or something. He's basically attacking Max, who's in trouble. The hearts are people, so this could be, the parents getting in the way or like somebody at school, and maybe bullies. And this is maybe a tunnel or vines of some kind, and it could be related to, Vecna. But let's see what we get. So we draw a 9 of spades. So 11 is trying to help us. And maybe what we can do here is we could play these 2 cards together. So this trap is, we're setting a trap that gets the humans off our back, and it prevents us from getting stuck in the vines or getting us out of this tunnel, whatever you're creating. Let's see what's next. All right, we have an 8. It's not enough to save Max. This would be a human that's helping us. So this could be Murray, for example. So maybe Murray, we play him face down as a distraction. So now these 3 threats are all taken care of. Murray's helping distract Vecna. This is a minor Vecna element. But let's see what else we get. Okay, we've got a 5. The diamonds as response are like gear. So maybe this is like a walkie-talkie. It's not working properly, or it's not, basically, this could also be Max's Walkman. Maybe it's like low on batteries, and so it's not enough to save her. So we could leave it as is, but these are 3 cards. So we've got 1 more. We could play As a wild, this could satisfy it, but we might want to save this for the boss battle. So let's see what we draw. And it's a 4. Okay, so yeah, this is 11's power, and it doesn't help here. It's already satisfied. This is as best we can do. 11's trying to help. It's not working. We take 1 damage, and Max is captured into the Upside Down. So because we have a character in the Upside Down, one of these 2s has to be on the top. Because if we get another gate, it will be our first response card. So let's do that. Let's set this one aside. Gather these ones up. Okay, if we see a gate, this will be our first response card. Okay, now in this example, okay, so Joyce is maybe, she's in the tunnels. We've got tunnels and vines kind of scenario. Joyce is out there. These are the hives, so they could be bats or demodogs or demogorgons. And these could be all one scene. These could be 2 separate scenes. Let's see what happens. So we've got Mike. Oh, we do have gates. We have a gate here. So that means we have an attempt to rescue Max. So we're going to pretend I didn't draw this yet. Our first card is going to be this 2 from the discard. It's not going to do much help here. We might want to play it as a distraction, maybe over here on this 8. You can't see very well. So we can distract. Yeah, this could be, maybe it's like a broken walkie-talkie. We throw it down one of the tunnels. It distracts some of these like big demo dogs. All right, now we've got Mike. What is he going to do? I think we'll rescue Max. So they're both equal 10, so that will work. So I've played 2 cards. I've got 3 more. This 7 of diamonds. I could play this one as a trap. Maybe here. What that does is this 15. I just need to get a what's that? An 8 or higher, and that'll pass both of these. So we're hoping we can set this trap. And let's see, we've got a 2. Okay. So this is 11. And 11 is trying to use her powers to help us. We'll play it here. 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got 1 more card. It's a 3. So if I played it here, that would be 10. It's not enough for this 15. But if I play it here, this could be another human. It could be like Bob. Bob is helping to fight off these demo dogs or something like that. So we're in a good situation, but Joyce is still in trouble and basically gets taken into the Upside Down. So we saved Max, we lost Joyce, and she would go up here. The lowest, which would be one of these 5s, will be the top of the and any character that's saved, it's just discarded, just like normal. But yeah, the 5, this 5 will go on top. So that is kind of how you play. As I was showing you, you can sometimes end up where you've played less cards than you needed to. You could have 4 threat cards. Because of a trap, you've only needed 3. You'll have an extra card that becomes part of your draw deck. And we'll talk about that in the boss battle. If you have a turn with 0 damage, you would actually heal. I forgot that last turn. I would have taken 2 damage, right? Joyce and the other card because the trap didn't work. But yeah, say you went through a turn, you didn't take any damage, you can heal 1. So you would just do something like that. One thing though is once you flip over to your last 10 health, you can heal, but you can't heal back to the heart side. So you're capped at 10 at that point. So the gates can escalate as you go through. During the first round, gates don't create any additional danger. They just give you a chance to rescue a character, so they become a 5th threat. In round 2, both gate cards as threats have to be satisfied, or you take 1 extra damage. Not 1 per card, but 1 total. And then in the third final round, both gate cards have to be met with an exact value response. And if they're not, and if both are not, you take 1 extra damage total. So it gets a little more difficult that way. In a boss battle, you're going to draw 6 threats instead of 4. So as you're playing, you'll get to the jokers, and as soon as they come out, if you set it up properly, you'll know, oh, this is the final. And you'll set these out, and you'll draw 6 cards, which may not fit on screen. Okay. Any characters that are in the upside down, you'll actually be able to rescue 2 automatically. And that also means that if you had one of these as a face card, you didn't satisfy, it would be getting pulled into the upside down. You could rescue 1 of those, so 2. But the difference here is that these are 13s, but they need exact damage dealt. So I actually haven't really shuffled this well. We'll see how I demo this, but a 9, this could go toward a 13. We can do that. We've got an 8. Yeah, why not? Let's put an 8 here. Because if these aren't met, it's the damage taken is the variance. So this is 13. If I only have 12, I take 1 damage. If I have this at a 14, I went over, but it's over by 1, so I would take 1 damage. So I want to get exactly 13 on both of these. And then the rest of these I can use a trap. I can also set traps across here, but this is a 10. That doesn't help me a lot. But you can do a distraction, you can set a trap, and you would just take 1 damage if you didn't get one of these. But these ones, you're going to take extra. And that's where using 11 can really help. Because she's wild, she can come in and be anywhere from 1 to 11. All right, so, and I get 6 cards total, including 11. All right, this 6, so this would be 14. Let's do that. So we're only 1 over, and I can show you there's if you have extra cards, there's something there. Okay, this is equal to the lowest, so this is a 4. We'll go ahead and play it. Actually, a 4 makes a 13 perfectly. So that's an exact hit. We're great. So that's 4 cards. I get 2 more. 2 more, and one of those is 11. So what I might do is save her for the end as a trap to maybe cover 2 of these. Let's see. All right, so I got a 4. I'm going to play this one as a distraction on the 10. And 11 can be up to 11. So it can't do this 12, but it can do these two. All right. And let's say during the game, I ended up in a situation where I actually have 2 cards left over. I can't play them as you normally would, but they can be plus or minus ones. These are called focus cards. So in this case, this is a 14. If I play this here, kind of on an angle, that's now a 13. And maybe, I would have played this differently, but yeah, say she was over here. I could play this one. That boosts it to a 12, and I could take that. But it doesn't really impact me much. So in this scenario, I would take 1 damage. I would rescue Joyce because you get to rescue 2 people. Anything above 2 people, they are rescued, but at 1 health each. So that's how you work it, at least until the final round. Between rounds, you can heal 0, 1, or 2 based on the difficulty level that you choose. And if this is the final boss battle for the 3rd and final round, then you will take damage differently. In fact, if you get to 0, you'll still keep tracking health, but you'll track it into the negative. So this is called borrowed time. And after this final turn of the final round, you will determine which characters did not survive the closing of the rift. So for every -3, say I went into negative, let's say that I went into -10. For every -3, a character would die. So you would first start with any that are in the upside down. So Joyce would die. So this is sad, but you're always going to win. It's just how hard is it going to hurt? So 11 is right here. You typically are using the character cards versus the aces. So I think for purposes here, we would leave the ace alone, but you would use any character cards that were part of this turn. And then you would go to the discard. And 2 more characters basically didn't make it. You just go from the top to decide, okay, Mike and Max. And in this case, those 3 characters didn't make it. And then there's some optional scoring based on how much health is remaining and how many cards you have remaining and things like that. So I will link to a full playthrough, and it won't have set up hands. It'll be straight random shuffled chaos to see how well I do. But that is the game. So if you want the full rules, they'll be available to my Substack subscribers. I'll have a link in the description. When you get the welcome email, you'll get access to a shared folder that I update regularly. So bookmark that. And if you enjoy thoughtful solo games with minimal components, a like and a subscription really helps so that more people can discover my projects. So thank you for watching. Let me know in the comments if you have this deck or if there's another themed deck that you would love to see turned into a solo game or just, your favorite. That's it. Thanks. We'll see you later.